So in this video, we're going to start looking at heap memory allocation in C++. So heap memory allocation in C++ uses two concepts, the new keyword and also the malloc function. So start by looking at heap memory allocation using the malloc function. So to use the malloc function, we're going to import, you know that malloc comes from the C, not really literally C++. So we're going to introduce the C standard library, okay? So that we're able to use the malloc function. So the way now we're going to create a pointer that is going to keep the memory address of the memory address that the malloc function is going to create for us. So I'll say create an integer, okay, that points to, we're going to call it ptr, okay. So it should point to, so this is a pointer to, meaning expect the memory address. So the memory address is going to come from the malloc function, okay. So memory allocation function takes a size that you want to allocate on heap memory. But in this case, we want to allocate the size of an integer, okay. So we have to calculate that size of an integer and say size of, okay, we're going to say size of to find the size of the integer. So the malloc function is taking the size of the int here. That is the memory that is going to create for us, okay, on the heap. Then what we're going to do is that we're going to typecast that into integer memory or integer size, okay, or integer type memory. So that is what we have here. So meaning in this ptr variable here, we just have a memory address that is allocated to us by the what, by the malloc function. So if we print out that, we're going to get 0x66176660. So meaning that is the memory address where that has been allocated to our pointer or to the integer that we are going to create. Then from here, what I can do is this. I can get now the pointer that we have created here. Can get the pointer that we have created. Then I can give it any value. Let me say 5. Okay. So if I run that now, at that address that we saw in the console, right? That address we have now allocated an integer of 5, and it has this specific size because it's an integer, so it will only take for 4 bytes, right? So if now we compile this, we're still going to get the memory address. But if we want to check to dereference the value that is at that memory address, we're going to access it this way. Okay, we're going to dereference the pointer. If we dereference the pointer, we now have a 5 in memory that is stored at that memory. Okay, so we have put we have modified the point and we have assigned 5 to that memory address that we had. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to say cout. So let me say cout. Then I'm going to print out the address first. Then from the address, I'm going to print out the value that is on the address. So when I say pointer ptr or the variable name here, it will give me the address that the malloc has assigned to us here in this variable. Then when I say star or point to, this means dereference the value at that memory address. So now we have the memory address colon and then the value at that memory address. So now when I run this program, we now have at the memory address 0xdd1760, we have a value of what? A value of 5. Okay. So that is how we use the the malloc function to assign values. Okay. That's basically how it's used. It can be used in so many ways. It's not just an integer that you can assign. You can assign a string, an array, and a lot of other data types. But that's just what we have as a simple example. Okay. So now, majority of the cases, before you even use the pointer, you have to check if the pointer is actually even working or it was set in the first place. So we're going to say ptr, if ptr is equal to a null pointer. Okay, null pointer. So it's a keyword. It's like the way the null keyword works in PHP. So this is a null pointer. It shows if the pointer is empty or the pointer is not actually set properly. Okay, so if at all that is the case, I'm going to say cout something. I'll say something went wrong. You know, say end line. Okay. So I'll close this, I'll compile that. Okay, so clearly nothing has gone wrong with our pointer. Our pointer is working correctly. Okay, so that is how the malloc, that is how malloc is used. Okay, so after you know how you learn how to use the malloc function, okay, to learn how to use the malloc function, I'm just going to comment out this code.